I have been meaning to make a video like this for quite some time. Originally, I wanted to make a video of all my knives, be it fixed blades or folders, as well as my axes. But I quickly realized that would become a logistical nightmare. So I thought, let's go with folders only. I mean, I'm sort of a fixed blade guy, but I do have quite a few folders. But I think I didn't fully realize just how many folders I have. So I put together a list here in which I specified every folding knife that I own, and the list went on and on. 3 pages, 118 different folding knives. A bit more than what I thought. And I also want to state that I am not being sent knives to show on my channel from different people or companies. I'm not being given knives, etc. I buy knives, and this makes me realize that I have probably invested a bit more than what I feel comfortable with, and that's just the folding knives. Well, anyways, I have prepared some stuff here so that I should be able to just, process this list starting from top to bottom. I'm gonna go through all the knives in alphabetical order, and I'm not gonna try to spend more than, I think, 1 minute tops with each model. And I'm not gonna go into any, details really. I'm gonna state the maker and the model name of the knife, and then I'm gonna, show it a little like this and this, etc. But I'm not gonna go over all the materials, steel used, etc., because that would make this video turn into countless hours. And while some people might find that interesting, I do think that a lot of people would not find it to be that enjoyable. And I mean, even if I go with 1 minute per knife here, and there are 118 knives, that's gonna be like 2 hours. So that's going to be lengthy enough to, just as it is. I think that it would be interesting, however, to make some more in-depth videos talking about, let's say, the first page here. We have 10 knives from Cheburkov, like making a complete Cheburkov collection video and then discussing, more details and etc. like that. Or we have 14 Maxace knives here. Make a Maxace collection video, or like 26 Olamic, making a complete Olamic video. I think that is something I will do in the future, but right now I just want to make this this complete collection video as of April 2023, since I have never really made a video like this before. So it is definitely, due time. And I think I should stop talking and just, start processing this list, because this is going to be a lengthy video. Yeah. So this will be the first knife we're going to take a look out of the 118 folders. This is the Custom Ronin Integral, made by South African knife maker De Villiers. I don't think I will go over all the details, like stating that titanium, Damascus pocket clip, Damascus inlay, M390 blade, etc. Because doing that for each and every knife is going to be, well, it's going to be a lot of stuff to process, and I think we're just going to skip all those kinds of details. I might not even have all the steel types in my head as well now that I think about it. So I'm just gonna mention, the maker and the model, pretty much. I think that's how we're gonna do it, right? Yeah. So, Custom Ronin by De Villiers. Next one is also a Custom Ronin but with a different finish to it. As you can see, the last one had some laser engravings and stuff. This one is satin and mirror polished, plain. Still has, you know, quite nice look to it, in my humble opinion. Next up we have a Custom Scavenger by ADV Villiers as well. Some interesting anodization. This is also an integral. Really high polish blade. The last knife from ADV Villiers is the Mini-Pitboss 2. Also sort of a custom version, since this one does have a M390 blade. Button lock. One of few button lock folding knives that I own. The next knife here is my only folding knife made by Böker Plus, or designed by, I should say, because it was actually produced by Reate. This is the Böker Plus Collection 2020 folding knife. This is the Case Cutlery Trapper, my only knife made by Case Cutlery and my only slip joint in the collection. Some jigged bone. So this one offers two different blade profiles, or blade designs. I am not the biggest fan of slip joints, obviously, but this one is nice. It feels like a classic, I've got to say. Next up we have 10 different folders made by Alexander Cheburkov. This first one being the Bear. Quite a large, heavy knife. Then we have the much smaller, the Colibri. And next up we have the Hudson, which is perhaps one of my favorite folders in my entire collection. I'm gonna try to rank my knives one day, but this is, I really like the Hudson. I do. I have 4 of them. And we're gonna take a look at each one of them. So yeah. And then we have the Hudson number 2. And then we have the Hudson number 3. So they all have some different blades, blade steels and scale material. And Hudson number 4. Next up we have some ravens. Or some, we have 2 different ravens. I think it's called raven because of, you know, like the raven-like appearance. Anyways, this is what a raven looks like. And raven number 2. Quite a large knife actually. Then we have the Ruski or custom Ruski. The last one of the Cheburkovs, but definitely not the smallest one, is the wolf. See those wolf paws in the titanium scales. Next up, we have the only knife I own made by Reeve, the large Sebenza 21. Looks like this. And next up we have the only CIVIVI knife that I own, the Elementum. And then we have the only knife I own made by CRKT. This is the Pillar. Next up we have some folders made by Fox Knives and sometimes in collaboration with Bastinelli. This is the Fox Blackbird. Now we have the Fox Shadow. Next up we have the Fox Suru. And well, I actually got two of them. I really do like this for a super small compact knife, which is why I had to get two, but I could of course have gotten two that weren't, you know, really identical. But yeah, it is what it is. So this is what Zero looks like. I mean, they are identical. The last of the fox knives is the Yaru. The next one here is a Ballison trainer, GLIDR Antarctica. I wasn't actually sure if I was going to, show this one in the video, but I thought, well, why not? It is quite nice, great quality, so I decided to include it as well. Not very sharp, however. Next up is my only Hinderer. It's difficult getting your hands on Hinderer these days, but this is the XM18 3.5 no choil skinny slicer. I think I got it right. Next up we have two knives made by Kansept knives, and this is the Fenrir or Fenrir. And then we have the Predator. Next up we have two knives designed by Liong and produced by Reate. This is the Eraser. Then we have the Warrior 2 version 3. Next up we have the LIONSTEEL LE1 Karambit. We are now going to take a look at 14 different Maxace models. We're going to start with the integral known as Amber 2S. This was the first Maxace knife that I purchased. And it is holding up quite nicely. Then we have the one that succeeded the Amber 2S, which is the Amber 3. Probably one of my favorite Maxace models. I would have loved this to be an integral, but can't have everything. The Balance 4 sleeper hit, in my opinion. Kind of, plain look. But looks can be deceiving. The small black mirror. Next up we have the Goliath 2.0. Then we have the Goliath 2.0, but the Bowie version. Up next, the Maxace Hive 2.0. Then we have one of my favorite designs, or one of my favorite knives at least, from Maxace, which is the Maxace Pansy. Or Punchy? No, Pansy. Next up we have the Rock, the aggressive trailing point, person styled. The Samurai 2. It shares a few similarities with the Maxace Pansy, but they are not the same knife, not the same design. That being said, the Samurai 2 is still quite a nice knife, but it is no Pansy. The next 4 Maxace knives are going to be real monsters. Might even have to zoom out on the camera. So this is the regular version, the regular Damascus version of the Maxace Titanus. Then I have an additional 2 of the mirror polished version of the Maxace Titanus. With this being the second mirror polished version. I guess you can say that I kind of like this one. I mean, it's very different and it's quite extreme and it's quite difficult to get them to fit in the camera, but mirror, mirror, regular, large knives. And yet we saved the largest one for last. Maxace number 14, the Vortex. Not your, everyday design. Probably not your everyday carry as well. Yeah, the Vortex. Next up, we're gonna take a look at some folders made by Medford, starting with the Praetorian Genesis T. We then proceed to the Praetorian Slim. We then move on to the Slim Midi. Next up, we take a look at my only folder made by Microtech. I do have quite a few of their fixed blades, but only this folding knife, the SOCOM Elite. Next up, we're gonna take a closer look at 5 MKM knives. This being the first one, the Arvenis. Then we have the small flame dagger. Next up we have the Maximo, and well, the other two are going to be two Maximos as well. Just in different scale configurations and different blade finishes. So Maximo number 2. And Maximo number 3. Next up we have my one and only MR.BLADE design, produced by LIONSTEEL, I believe. Quite a different design, I would say, overall. It's a little bit, you know, all over the place. There's going to be a lot of Olamic cutlery for a while now. 26 different folders, and we're going to go over them in alphabetical order, which means that we start off with the small Böker. 4 of them to be precise, this being the first of the bunch. This being the second one. The third one of the bunch. And the fourth and final one. Next up, we have 6 different rainmakers, this one being the first of the bunch. Second one. Third one. Fourth one. fifth one. And the sixth and final one. Actually, this was the first one I bought. This was actually my first ever Olamic. The one that started it all. Needless to say, I am quite a fan of the Rainmaker. Next up we have the Soloist Agent version, two of them. And the Soloist Scout version, which is a little bit less aggressive than the Agent one. And the second Soloist Scout. So next up we have the Wayfarer 247. I have 8 of these, which is the most I have of a single model of any knife maker or brand, I believe. So that means that I love the Wayfarer the most. But I'm not sure I do actually, because I think I love the Rainmaker a little bit more than the Wayfarer, and I'm also quickly falling in love in the new bolster lock whippersnapper. But the Wayfarer is a sweet folder, no doubt about it. the second one. Third one. And the fourth one. Fifth one. And the sixth one. Seventh one. And finally, the eighth one. We have now reached the final model of the Olamics, and that is the Whippersnapper bolster lock edition or version. Looks kind of like this. This particular one is in Damascus. The other three we're gonna take a look at are in regular satin S90V. Second one looks like this. third one looks like this. And the fourth and final one looks like this. Next up, we're going to take a look at 4 folders from Realsteel, and we are going in alphabetical order once again, meaning that we start with the G5 Metamorph Compact Ostapel design. That's one of the reasons why I actually picked this one up to begin with. So this is what the G5 Metamorph Compact looks like. The next one is the Rocote. Has some Morse code here in the carbon fiber and on the pocket clip as well, I realize now. So this specific version has a satin finish. I have 2 more versions with stonewash finish and black coated blade, but this is the satin one. And here we have the stonewash version. Might be difficult to tell them apart, but there is a bit of a difference in finish. And then we have the black coated version. I think this is a limited edition version with some upgrade in steel as well, like M390 instead of S35VN. We are now going to take a look at 10 knives made by Reate, going in alphabetical order as always, starting with the Coyote or Coyote. I just can't learn how to pronounce that. Anyways, this is what it looks like. Then we venture on to the K1. This being the K1. Then we move up to the K3. This one being the, well, I'm gonna show 3 Damascus versions and 1 regular version. The second K3. And the third K3. And the fourth and final K3. We then move on to the K4. And the next K4. So the difference between this one and this one is in the steel used. One is M390, the other one is RWL34, but it's also a difference in the carbon fiber here. One is marble carbon fiber, the other one is a more regular carbon fiber. But I thought I should mention it because you might think that I showed the same knife twice, but I did in fact not do that. They are 2 different versions, or well, 2 different configurations, I should say perhaps. This K4 is a little bit easier to distinguish from the other 2, since it's pretty much all blacked out. Some carbon fiber inlays might not even be able to see it on the camera because it's kind of dark. The last one and the smallest one, the Tribute. Front flipper. Next up, we're going to take a look at two Spartan Harsey folders, the full-size version and the Plague Doctor edition, to be more precise. So both knives are the same, but one is with a Chad Nichols Damascus blade, one is with a regular S45EN blade. But this is what the knife looks like. And then the Damascus version as well. Next up, we're going to take a look at three different models from Spyderco, and we're going to start with this one being the Delica. And we're gonna move on to the Dragonfly 2, which is quite a small one. And last but not least, we have the Endura. Next up, we're gonna take a look at my one and only knife made by Tuya, and this is the Talon. Next up, we're gonna take a look at the Viper Cutlery. So the Cutlery is actually the only model that I own that is made by Viper, but I do own three of them. So we're gonna take a look at the three different ones that I do have in my possession. So that was the first. Here is the second one. And the third and final one. We have now reached the final maker on my list for this video, and that is V-knife. But we do, however, have 14 different knives to go through here. Starting off in, well, I'm gonna go with the numbered versions first, and then we're gonna go with the name knives. Since V-knives didn't have the best imagination in the beginning of their production, they named knives such as this fine example here, the 604. So 604 it is to begin with, and it looks like this. So let's take a look at another 604. Just a bit different coloring on this one. Next on the list is the 608, which is this one. And then we have the 702, which is in fact one of my all-time favorite V-knives. I do have one that I like a tad bit more, but this was actually, I think, my first V-knife, and it's still one of my, one of my favorites, and an integral as well, the 702. It's now time to take a look at the named versions, and we are going in alphabetical order, so that means that we're going to go with the kite fin next. So I have 3 different kite fins, not sure which one I like the best, but this is the first of the 3 at least. The second one. And the third and final one. Next up we have the Mini Synergy version 2, I think it's called, or V2. Yeah, the Mini Synergy nonetheless. An integral design. We then have the V-Knife Peer. Looks like this. We're then moving on to the Synchro, which is also an integral. The next one is the V-Knife Taik or Tai Chi. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but this is my current favorite knife from V-Knife. This is also an integral and one of the most complicated integral designs that I know of. There is a lot going on this one. Hands down my favorite V-Knife. So then we have the Wasabi. Which looks like this. And finally, we have two different versions of the CIVIVIs, the Damascus versions. and the two only button locks that I own of V-knife. And there is the other version. We have now reached the end of this video. Quite a comprehensive video in terms of number of knives shown. I have checked off each and every knife individually here on these papers. There should be 118 knives shown here in the video. I'm actually kind of tired now. This was sort of exhausting, and I didn't even go into any real details when I shoved every knife. I mainly just shoved them and named the model name and maker. But had I done more, this video would have become several hours long, and that would have been, well, it wouldn't really have worked out that well. It would have been interesting if I would have kind of rated each knife from like 1 to 5, with 5 being the best and 1 being the, well, there are no knives that I don't like on this list, but there are some knives that I like more. So 5 being like a top favorite and 1 being a great knife but not my favorite knife perhaps. But that might be something I can do later, and then we can put like the top tier knives up against each other or something like that. But the intention of this video was just to show what my folding collection looks like as of April 2023. I have never made a complete folding knife collection video before, so it was due time to happen. I hope you have enjoyed this video, even though it was probably on the lengthy side, because I don't yet know how long this video will be. Yeah, I think that's it for now. I'm gonna go and take a break.